Hello and welcome to the Patches In podcast. My name is Dom and I'm here with Hugh.
Hello, everyone.
And Hamish.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, well, Hamish managed to kick us all out of his house and he's like, do you know what? If we're doing the podcast this time, you stay in your own goddamn houses.
Because I want to drink and smoke and you guys complain about that. Well, not so much you, Dom, but Hugh, he's a moany wee bitch. So.
You're already smelly and then you pick the two smelliest habits.
Yeah, I'm trying to cover the smell, mate.
How have you all been? Like, I know, Hugh, you were on a good old venture. Hamish, did you get up to much since the last podcast?
When you see Elton John, mate?
Big Elton John?
Big Elton, yeah.
How
it was amazing.
How was that?
Oh, it was incredible, man. It was really good. I've been to a lot of gigs, a lot of concerts, festivals, everything since I was probably like 14, 15 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say this was the best concert I've ever been to. Just the performance was amazing. The stage was awesome. The crowd were amazing. They all had like these wee light up glasses, and like I would find myself just looking across the crowd a lot of time, just a sea of flashing lights. It was magical, man. He's like fairly early on to the set list. He played Rocket Man.
Hey.
And I was like, I was there with my friends Raymond and Sinead, and starts playing Rocket Man, and I was like, oh, you know what, this song always reminds me of Raymond because it's featured heavily in Californication, and we both like that, and it's just one of those songs that always comes on like after Sinead goes to bed, and we're up talking, having a drink and a smoke, and just just bonding and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I lean over to him, I was like, I love you, man, and he was getting, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, he was getting a wee bit, caught up in the moment of just the performance because it was incredible. And then Sinead like turned to me and she just said thank you. That's all she said, but it just like this dead sincere, like,
yeah,
thank you. And then I said thank you to her, and she rested her head on my shoulder and I gave her a wee kiss on the head, and then I was watching, enjoying the show, and then this weird feeling came over me, and I was like, this feels weird. What is this? And then I was like, oh wait, I remember what this is. This is happiness. This is what that feeling I used to feel once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
I was just, that's what life's about, man. Doing things that you love with people that you love even more, and that was an incredible wee night.
That's good.
And then just went out Glasgow after it for a few drinks and stuff like that. Crashed at Sinead's, and then we finished off It Takes Two, finally.
Hey, finally.
A lovely wee game, yeah. So yeah, it was a great weekend all round.
Oh, that sounds good.
It was good, I just told you it was good.
Yeah, well, you come in here and the happiness is just gone.
Nah, see, I was showing too much emotion there, so I had to lash out at you just to...
I can see why you're friends with you. I can see that.
No, you can see why I've never not felt happiness in a long time being friends with you.
Yeah, you can't blame me for your problems.
I can definitely try.
So, Hugh,
Yes.
how was your week? I don't think you got up to much. You didn't really do anything new, or
He never does, mate.
yeah. But do enlighten us what you got up to.
Well, I spent a week away from yous. I went to Sweden. I actually had to leave this island of Britain to get away from yous. I hated yous that much. I had to go see James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich because they are much better people. Like,
Oh, who else, mate? Who else is in that band?
the Crab Guy, and
Rob Trujillo,
Rob Trujillo, and Kirk Hammett.
Curty boy.
I know, but they're too far down the list for me, boys. I don't hang out.
I mean, there
with,
was two more people.
I only hang out with the main boys. You know what I mean? I'm only replacing used to.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. No, it was great. I went to see Metallica for 2 nights in Gothenburg, Sweden.
Gothenburg.
Me and Sinead went away for 5 days. It was pretty fucking good. Right, this is going to be a very Scottish complaint, right? A very Scottish Hamish style alcoholic.
Hold on. You're just about to say Hamish style. Dom, do you notice the difference? My story was lovely, filled with feelings and this beautiful night, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna complain."
Nothing more better Scottish than that. It's just about complaining about shit.
Yeah, true.
Hey, man, I've got a lot of good stuff going on in my life. I'm going to complain about one thing.
Okay.
And do you count as one thing, or can I combine yous?
You probably could combine this. I mean, 2 idiots are better than one.
Well, there's three here.
Fusion dance.
Mate, do you know that you can't buy alcohol in Sweden at an event that's over 3.5%?
That's why you bring hip flasks, mate.
I know, right? But like, do you know where you can buy alcohol? Like
Everywhere.
over 3.5% in Sweden?
Absolutely everywhere.
No. Like, obviously in pubs, but to buy it to drink in your own home, there's a government shop. Like, you can't buy it in supermarkets. You can't buy it in off licenses. It's like a single type. It's like System Belonga or something like that it's called. And you
So
go
it's
in,
not-
and it's like they're not like common either. They're like where we were. There's like one in like a fucking supermarket, or not a supermarket, like a shopping centre somewhere. But like when you go in, it's well stocked. Like it's got everything, obviously, but it's just weird for us where you can buy alcohol off of kids in the street. In Sweden, you specifically have to go someplace.
Yeah, so it's not like a dry country, but it's like a damp country, a moist country.
Yeah.
On the way to dry. That's weird, man. I thought they were quite liberal.
No, I think there's a difference between like I'll go get me all ticked up again.
We didn't say.
I think you can use Scotland as an example of where like allowing people to do whatever they want is not good for their health a lot of the time, and because other people have to come together to help you, sometimes those other people set down rules. So I think that's kind of what they're doing, because you can still get alcohol, you just can't get it as regularly.
It's a System Belgega.
Something like that, mate. I can't remember exactly what it was called.
Do you know actually, it looks like an airport.
I know a Pokemon.
It looks like a duty free.
Yeah, no, it does. Obviously, being Sweden, that we went and get Kopparbergs and Rekorderlig and cider. But like the crazy thing is, right, the cider you buy at the event was 2.5%. So I'm buying 4 at a time because, fuck that. And then I go in there and there's like 7 and 8% Kopparbergs. Like into the government shop. So I brought a few back with me. I've got one for Hamish and stuff. So because I knew he'd like that sort of shit. But like you can taste it, man. See the 7%.
Yeah.
Shut up, Tom. You got a magnet.
Well, I just didn't say anything. I was like,
yeah, I saw your face. You can taste it, man. Like, see here, Kopparbergs are sweet, and you've got that tiny little bit of cider taste.
yeah.
But like the 7% one, it's like honestly drinking like the sourest of ciders, like the cheap shit. Like it's fine, but it's not Kopparberg for me. Like,
Yeah, because you have like a Kopparberg if it's like a really warm day and you're like, oh, I need something to just quench my thirst. But
Yeah.
the other thing, boys, right? You know when you've had a good few drinks in a day, right? And you go to an event in a stadium, you're going to be pushing by people to go to the toilet, aren't you?
Aye, of course.
Like, sorry, excuse me, sorry, mate. The looks I was getting, like no one else was like drinking, right? Which is weird. And like I'm like sorry, and they're just like, how dare you get up? Like, guys, I either go now or I'm going to like piss all over the place.
yeah.
Like it's not a simple stream here. I'm just going to go like a fucking fire hose.
Yeah. All your meatballs and all like that.
Aye. They're very polite people, but that politeness comes with anger if you're not as polite.
I mean,
That's
that's
so
just
bizarre,
life
though.
in general.
No, but you know what I mean though. Like if you say, I said, excuse me, can I get by? But it was the fact that I even got up was the issue.
Yeah. But people not drinking at a Metallica concert, that's just so foreign to me. Like, I suppose it's foreign, obviously.
It's
because
from
you're talking
Sweden.
about a foreign country, but like that's just so strange. I don't think there's many places in the world that you would find that.
No, like, again, I can remember when I was in New York, Madison Square Garden, like, to see
Where were you?
Muse. Madison Square Garden.
MSG, mate.
Madison Square Garden. Sorry, that's Jackie Chan from Rush Hour 2.
Yeah.
Or Rush Hour 1?
Rush Hour 1, end of Rush Hour 1.
Just sounded racist, to be honest.
A little bit.
I know.
Or was my Rush Hour 2? It's one of the Rush Hour movies. But, yeah, we were drinking, and there was a lot of people saying, why are you drinking? It's like a Monday night. We were at a gig. You're supposed to, you're supposed to drink at a gig, and then we looked around and everybody was like kind of dancing to the music with their phones and stuff. It was like, maybe we're the only people that like, oh, it's gig night, let's get fucked up.
Mate, honestly, me and Sinead have been doing a lot of like research into foreign festivals and foreign gigs, try to like figure out like if we can mix our passion for live music and drunkenness with holidays.
Uh-huh.
And like there's like an English group of boys that go to every festival, and they went to Transmit,
Mhm.
and they were in the queue at like 12 o'clock, and they were honestly like, why is everyone so drunk? And that guy's just falling about being sick. And I'm like, guys, you obviously were too young for Tina Park. Like, Tina Park was probably, like, if you want to see the worst side of Scottish people, Tina Park was it. Hamish, you remember it, don't you?
Yeah, mate, I was there. Yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, I definitely contributed to that.
Yeah. I think it's just I don't know if it's Scottish or just the kind of drinking culture we have, but everyone was just like, I enjoyed myself. That was great. I had a great time. And I'm like, why is no one being sick? Where's the fighting?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just weird. I also met a lovely Swedish bartender guy who was just like, where are you from? And I was like, oh, Scotland. He's like, oh, Super John McGinn. I'm a massive Aston Villa fan. And I was like, oh, right, cool. I kind of know like his cousins and stuff like that. Like he's maybe a really nice guy. He's like, oh, take a video and send it to him. And I was like, all right. And then he kind of went to a video with me, and he was like, oh, John, you're amazing. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I sent it to like my mate who's his cousin, and he went, I'm actually going to let him see this and tell him like there's a crazy Swedish Viking guy that fucking loves him. So hopefully that inspired him.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, but it was just a weird thing that he was like, oh, you're Scottish, so obviously you know John McGinn. I should have went, all right, do you know Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
I mean,
like,
the difference being that you did actually kind of.
I don't know him though. Like I know,
you had a
I know
connection.
there's like degrees of separation, and John McGinn comes from like Clydebank, which is like, you know, a mile up the road from us.
Yeah, it's just the best place, isn't it?
No, it's the goddamn worst. Sinead's not listening to this one.
How do you know? You'd not letting her?
She might actually. She's been saying she wants to listen. She stopped for a wee while and then she's going to come back. She was sick of us.
Whoa, what? Why did she stop? That's terrible.
I don't know. You ask her, Hamish.
No.
You scared of the answer?
Yeah, because it's obviously going to be me, isn't it?
Oh no, it probably is me, mate.
Apart from all the drinking, what was the nicest food that you had?
Mate, we had meatballs, obviously. Meatballs were actually fucking good. We went and had the meatballs. They came with mashed potato. There you go.
I don't want to run down on the meatballs. Everyone expects the meatballs. Was there not any sleeper hits, mate? Anything really, really tasty that you never tried before, or anything like that? Well, you thought when in Sweden?
Try to think, because I probably have, and I just I got drunk and forgot. Sorry, Dom, what you go say?
Well, I was about to say, like, apart from like the food and the alcohol, how was the gig? Because again, like that must have been some set lists.
Here is my critique of Metallica, of this Metallica, right? They've got so many songs that two nights were amazing, but they picked a lot of the other problem Metallica is most of their fucking old stuff's 10 minutes long. Like the songs are so long, so they picked a lot of old stuff like Orion and stuff like that, and which are good songs, but they're like 10 minutes long, and you're like, right, please get to something I can sing along to. Please get to the day that never comes or whatever, but they never did.
Because you would think, obviously, across 2 nights, wow, that's going to be loads of songs, but it's obviously not for a band that have a lot of like 8-10 minute songs.
Yeah, they played mate when Fuel came on. I was so happy. I love Fuel. Fuel's like one of my favorite Metallica songs.
That's pure hype song, innit?
Yeah, they had fire and everything, mate. They had fire coming from the stage. Obviously, Master of Puppets, Enter Sandman. You know, One, Nothing Else Matters. You know, banger after banger. And then they were just like, oh, let's play Sanitarium. And you're like, Sanitarium's good, but come on, where's fucking Saint Anger?
What? No Metallica fan would ever say that.
Yes, they fucking would, man. Saint Anger's actually good.
Maybe say Invisible Kid.
Invisible Kid, yeah, that's. But it kind of 2 nights wasn't even enough for me, like with Metallica, and also, mate, like I don't know if it was the gig or Metallica themselves, like the crowd, because it wasn't a rowdy crowd. It just didn't feel like there was that kind of crazy atmosphere. They are also 60. Like they had a really cool setup. It was a big circular stage with like people in the middle of it as well. So it was like a pit in the middle, and they had like 6 giant towers with screens on it.
Yeah.
so they could play to the whole stadium pretty much. And Lars's drum kits would sink into the stage, and then there'd be another one that comes up at another part.
Yeah.
So like you'd move around, and then there's loads of microphones and stuff. It was a really good setup.
Are you sure it wasn't just this, the weight of his massive head, his massive forehead, just bringing the whole drum kit down, and they had to just pull him up every now and again?
That's just his
ego and his forehead. Yeah.
He was actually pretty good. I thought that, like, I've heard a lot of reviews of this tour, and it's sloppiness is what's like. I think someone said about the download set that they were dead sloppy with it. Like there was a lot of like twangs and off-key singing. And
do you think that's an age thing, or do you think that's like this isn't actually one of our gigs, or do you think it's just they've already bought the tickets thing?
Well, see, like if I want to jump in with this, I think it's a mixture of motherfucker. We've got to have like 30 odd songs to play across 2 days, and they're touring this like around Europe. That's them finished. That was the last gig in Sweden, was their European tour, and now they're going to do the States 2 nights probably again.
Yeah,
I mean it is double dipping, but at the same time, like that's a lot to remember. That's a lot to like perform. And Metallica have never, like, again, I think that's what makes them good, is that you're never going to get them perfect. I remember every time that I've seen Metallica, Lars at least fucks up one song.
Yeah.
At least
that's
one
what I mean.
song.
I was expecting him to be worse, but it was James, actually.
Oh.
His singing just wasn't. But I put this down to the fact that I'm seeing them, 42 years into their career?
Yeah.
Oh, is this the first time you've ever seen them?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever seen Metallica.
Okay.
But like, I was expecting it, mate. I was honestly like, they're not going to be a band that's in their 30s or their 20s that are pure fire. They're just like ready to go. They're a fucking machine now. They just get on with it. The support bands were Volbeat. You know Volbeat?
Yeah, I love Volbeat.
I like Volbeat, man. Like, I didn't like them before this for some reason, and then live I was just like, no, this music vibes with me. I think the problem with Volbeat is that a lot of the songs sound very similar.
Yeah, the vocal lines are very like very much like you would have like Rise Against. What's that other band?
There's lots, mate. There's loads of them.
But it's the tone. The vocals are very like monotone.
Yeah,
very much like a single note.
He's got one kind of go of it, and it's like an anthem he always sings. It's always a big high chorus and stuff, and it sounds really cool in a stadium though. Like it vibe.
Theory of Dead Man. That's what I was thinking of. It's very Theory of Dead Man.
We missed Ice Nine Kills because we were getting drunk because that was the second night, and we realised that we had to go to a bar and get drunk, and we just couldn't go to the event and get drunk.
Angie would kill you, man.
They said, mate, I was listening to them. I was quite sad. I thought they'd be on just before Metallica, but they were the first band on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Then Epica was on. They were. I wasn't mad into Epica.
Mm-hmm.
And the other band that had somebody's famous son was it Van Halen's son or something like that?
Van Halen Wolfcastle?
Mammoth?
Wolfgang, sorry. Wolfgang. Wolfcastle's fucking from Simpsons.
they were okay as well, but the issue was that no one turned up for the support bands. Like there was hardly anybody in the stadium when like anybody was playing set Volbeat. People turned up for Volbeat.
So it was 3 support bands?
There was 4.
4? Was it like 2 on the first night, 2 on the second night?
Yeah.
Right.
So Volbeat played the first night, and that's when most people turned up to see Volbeat. Someone said that Five Finger Death Punch was meant to play, and they pulled out, and a lot of people cancelled. But I've not, like, if you've ever listened to Five Finger Death Punch, I don't know where the crossover is there. Like, I don't think they're that good, but like,
it was also the fact that like the first night was a Friday and the second night was a Sunday, wasn't it? They had a wee gap night because they're old as fuck.
Yeah.
So you also need to take that into consideration. There might have been people that wanted to go on a Sunday but couldn't because they were working the next day or whatever. Or, mind you, if they're not drinking, then they've got no excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. But it was still really good. I was glad I did it.
Yeah.
The stadium was old but cool. Like the stadium's, like I've obviously told you this. It's where Alex Ferguson won the Cup Winners' Cup with Aberdeen in 1983. But like that was cool to me because I was like, oh, this is history was made in this stadium, blah blah blah. And Gothenburg itself is such a like lovely city. Like it's super modern with really like big skyscrapers, and then there's like the really old town bit, and then just get that European vibe, man. Everybody was just relaxed and not try to like stab each other and that.
Doesn't sound like a modern city. Sounds like a
Gothenburg.
proper Gothic style, like Gothicburg.
You'd think so, but there wasn't a lot of the Gothic style left. There's just a ton of kind of modern architecture, a lot of trams and bikes and shit, European stuff. But like it was a small city. I think Gothenburg's smaller than Glasgow, so there wasn't tons to see, but we made every day.
Some of the pictures that you were showing, see like that car boat.
The car boat, boat car,
boat car.
Boat bus. It was
boat
a boat
bus.
bus.
Oh, sorry, it's a boat bus. Apologies.
Yeah, it was so cool, man. We went on a wee boat tour of the city because that's what you do when you're on holiday. Saw a lot of cool shit, and then but like on the wee boat tour there was like loads of German guys with Metallica tops on, obviously there for the gig as well, and they had like bags of cans with them. Mate, and I was just like, pure wish I was with these guys, man. Like, I pure wish I could speak German and get a can. Nah, like they were just having a pure good time. Everyone speaks super good English in Sweden.
Yeah,
much
better than you.
Better than me.
English.
Mate, better than us. Like,
Much better.
That's a very low bar for you, but
right? Oh, I haven't told you that. Well, I think I told you, but like on
Tell
the way
the
there,
people.
on the way to Sweden, we had a transfer in Amsterdam.
Okay.
The flight was late. We just made our transfer, but that meant our bags didn't. So we got to Gothenburg and they were like, "Oh, we'll get your bags to you tonight at some point. They'll turn up." It's like, "Oh, cheers, thanks. I'm just gonna have my sweaty plain clothes on all day."
it's reassuring, isn't it? Like they'll turn up. Like
Yeah, they were just like, "Yeah, they'll get there tonight," and I was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, it happens all the time." And I was like, "Okay." But like Sinead is a very like anxious person about that stuff. She wants everything to go like right first time. I don't know why she's with me then. Like,
yin and yang, mate.
so like straight away, I was relaxed about it. I was like, there was nothing in the suitcase we can't just replace. Like, we'll go to the shopping centre and buy clothes or whatever. But they turned up. Everything was fine. On the way back, the flight was delayed again. But we thought there was enough time. Turns out there was enough time for my bag to get there.
Oh no.
We got to Glasgow and Sinead's bag didn't turn up.
Oh man.
Oh no.
We're standing there and my bag came out almost first, right? And I grab it. I'm like, "Oh, see, look, they turned up. They're here." Fucking half an hour later, there's nothing else coming out, and then there's an announcement made like, "Can these passengers come to the desk?" And it's like my name because they've obviously put my tag on her bag.
Oh no.
And she's like, I told you, everything's going wrong." And I'm like, "Nothing's going wrong. We're home now."
It's weird though, because obviously you would have put your bags in at the same time.
Yeah, we did. I don't know what happened, mate, problems, but I didn't care because it was on the way back.
Oh, and it wasn't your bag, obviously. So.
Mate, like even if it was my bag, like I didn't put any of my electronics in it. I didn't put anything that I was like super cared for in it. It was all just like shorts and t-shirt and trainers. So
Has she got the bag now?
yeah, we got the bag back the next day.
Here you go.
It just, mate,
All works
the
out.
KLM, mate, I always heard they were good, like as a airline, but the only time I've been on them, they've lost my bag twice.
So 100% of the time they lose bags. Basically.
Yes, and we only went like 2 hours. We went 1 hour to Amsterdam, 1 hour from Amsterdam to Gothenburg. So yeah, it was a great holiday. I got really excited about going abroad again, and I sent you a load of links. Like, we should go EGX. That's not really abroad, but
It's abroad to me, damn it.
what was the other thing I was thinking about? Rock am Ring
Rock am Ring, a German vessel.
at Nuremberg.
Mm-hmm.
Not
At the
Nuremberg.
racetrack.
Fuck hell. Nuremberg.
Ah, the racetrack.
Nuremberg. I'm
Yeah.
saying that right.
It's the download equivalent in Europe.
Yeah, I watched a couple of videos on it. It seems pretty cool. Aye, so I'm excited to travel again because I got that bug when we went to Japan, and then COVID absolutely killed the world. So I see Paige.
You see Paige?
Oh, there she is.
Just popping in. Dad, you done yet? Like, I come play with my toys in the living room.
What's squeaking crazy?
Paige is a dog, by the way. Before it was squeaky toys and that. Like, so what about you, Dom? What have you been up to?
Well, I celebrated my 3rd year anniversary with Angie.
Well, we had our 4th recently, but whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it?
Podcast's always going to be going on longer.
Whoa!
Well, I'm not saying that you guys are going to break up. I'm just saying that we are never going to break up. So we're always going to have that year extra.
That's optimistic, isn't it?
I think Hamish, man, you're going to be dead. Hamish,
you, all right?
Hamish, you're going to be dead within a year. The way that you're smoking and drinking.
Well, just like replay them. By that point, you'll have like so many sound bites of all the ridiculous shit I say. You can just fire it in anywhere because that's basically what I do anyway.
But we don't have your wisdom, mate. We don't have your wisdom.
We'll have a Hamish GPT. It'll just end up fucking picking up habits that like slowly destroy it as well.
Everything around it. So what did you guys do for your anniversary?
So we went out for lunch in Glasgow. Had it was like a French restaurant. It was really nice. And then
I didn't get my invite. Did you, Hugh?
No. Again, he doesn't invite us.
How dare I not invite you to my anniversary dinner or lunch with Angie?
You're trumping my wedding.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Dom. How dare you?
God damn it, guys. But yeah, it was a good day. It was nice to both of us have the day off. I think last year, both of us were working, and it was like we didn't get a chance to go and do anything. Or we had a place booked afterwards, but it was really nice. But we ended up going to Everyman Cinema as well for the first experience. So it was great there, and it was my second time watching a movie, and this was Angie's first time watching The Flash. So if anyone's seen it, yeah,
no, I haven't seen it, and I don't really care about spoilers because TikTok has already spoiled almost everything.
What did you think of it?
So I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. I can understand people's problems with like the CG and stuff, but I've always remembered DC's CGI always been shite. Like, I don't think there's ever been a good CGI scene that I've went, oh, that looks great. Whether it be like any of the Snyder movies, Black Adam, they've always seemed quite... The Christopher Nolan ones have always been good. Like, see for the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, I think he always kind of tried to do as much practical as he could with just wee touch-up and CG, which makes a difference always,
But with this was horrendously... CG'd, but there was times you're like, well, how else are you going to do this scene?
There's a reason they had to do it like that, and it's because there's no fucking practical way.
Yeah. And this movie's been in like development hell for like years as well. Like they were wanting to make a Flash movie. I can remember them talking about that 10 years ago, like way before, like during the Dark Knight sort of like the Christopher Nolan movies. They were talking about making a Flash movie, and
I think the DC move at a snail's pace, don't they? They made Man of Steel, and then they were like, oh, Batman vs Superman, and it came out, 5 years after that?
Yeah.
Like, they don't really strike where the iron's hot, do they?
No, definitely not.
What did Angie think of the film?
Yeah, she liked it. She did. I think it was more, see, when you've got Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman in it, like, she really likes Michael Keaton.
Right. Tell me. Is this Batman the dumbest Batman of all time?
The dumbest Batman?
Like I don't want to, in case Hamish does, I've seen what happens, right? And I don't want to ruin it for Hamish. If he's...
Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
Is there not at least a couple of Bat people in it? I thought there was Bat persons in it.
Yeah, there's Bat persons in it. There's there is Ben Affleck. He's in it as well. So
Affleck. I don't care about spoilers. Go for it.
Okay, well, if anyone else cares about spoilers, we'll go talk a wee bit about spoilers right about now.
Fuck the listeners, mate. Any listeners got a problem? Anyone? No, I don't hear anyone. Dom, go for it.
Email them. It's at patchesofficial@gmail.com if you've got any complaints.
And Hamish will give you a tenner for each one.
Before Dom says this next bit.
Right, so the clip I saw
Uh-huh.
is Batman flying directly into Zod's ship and killing himself.
Yeah.
So why would Batman do that?
It's the only
right,
way,
okay.
mate.
This is the way.
Like Batman is like,
Because he is vengeance, mate.
aye,
He is
can send
suicidal.
him-
Yeah.
You tell me Batman hasn't got a fucking parachute?
So what was
Yeah.
So what was happening?
How's he gonna blow up a spaceship with a parachute, mate?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
he can fly into it, mate, and then
It's like a hot-
get
like,
out at the last minute.
hold it over the wee visor, like the wee windshield, so they can't see, and then they just crash. Aye, is that how he's gonna do it?
We've also saw that bat ship thing fly remote.
Yeah.
Remote fucking... Like, you tell me Batman couldn't...
The remote wasn't working, mate.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like that. It's like that submarine.
Don't.
The remote.
I was just about. I was like, don't.
Oh, man. I have a lot of critique over that whole submarine thing. Being
Anyway,
speedy.
Hugh,
No,
let me.
let's-
No. Let me explain what it was before you start going off this crazy tangent.
Right,
So,
okay.
it is the original Batwing that they've been using in the Keaton movies. So, see the one where it's like it's like an orb that rotates. You can go upside down and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
Right.
like
it's-
a bat.
like a bat. So what happens is that he's trying to take out any of Zod's army, but he can't because no one can take out Zod's army because there's no Superman. Essentially, there's a Supergirl, but there's not.
But girls aren't as good as men, so she can do it.
Supergirl. No, Supergirl was only rescued maybe 24 hours beforehand before she realizes anything. So she was held,
Useless.
captured by the Russians. So there was like no sun exposure, and she kind of didn't have the experiences Clark did
Yeah.
throughout life. So that's kind of like what they're aiming at. It's like this is it was futile with Batman with Michael Keaton's Batman. He was trying to eject, but he couldn't because he got hit and he couldn't eject. So he's like, do you know what? I'll try to take them out anyway, not knowing that it was like a shield would just take him out. But there was
Batman would know that, mate.
That's the sacrifice, mate. That was
Yeah.
the only choice, obviously.
But
And how do you know he didn't actually Christian Bale it? Maybe he's out sipping wine somewhere, or Michael Caine looking at him like, I don't know who the fuck you are. You're not my Batman. Like, why is this weird guy staring at me?
we had what fucking... How long between Iron Man and Endgame? 10 years? 10 years.
Just over 10
Right.
years. Yeah.
How many times is DC going to introduce one of their main characters and then just fucking kill them?
Yeah, but it's old Batman. Maybe
It's old
Michael
Batman.
Keaton was like, I'll do one film. So they were like, all right, well, we can kill you then.
right, okay. So basically, what happens there is that Kara also gets killed as well. So like
Oh.
the part
She
of the
didn't
story
last
is
long, man.
no. So the part of the story was that Zod is like Clark never came to Earth because Zod got to him first and realised that from the Man of Steel, the way to use the collider was to use the DNA, the code that was in Clark Kent, in Superman.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh, wait,
like,
you give away his secret identity there?
I know, sorry, whoops.
Let me bleep that.
But it's like in this alternate timeline, it's Kara that has it. So it's like we've been waiting for you, and they end up killing her. But the two Barrys that are there, there's young 18-year-old Barry and main Barry, and he's like, no, like, so both Batman and Supergirl die, and main Barry is like, there's enough, like, what can we do? And young Barry's like, no, let's reverse time like you did, and we'll go back and we'll do things different. So they go back. Yeah, so they go back, Michael Keaton, Batman, they say, Batman, don't attack that ship, it's got shields. So he's like, okay, so he pulls away, and he's fine.
Right.
So, and then a young Flash just goes and protects Supergirl. But what happens is that Batman still dies. He gets jobbed out by a giant Kryptonian. Even though he was bombing, he was bombing the fuck out of him, but he was fucked. You gotta remember, he's old as fuck there, Hugh. He's not like a young Bruce Wayne.
Like,
Batman is human.
But Superman.
Yeah, who was that though? Was that old ass Michael Keaton? No, it wasn't.
No,
Was that
it was-
Birdman? No, it wasn't. It wasn't the Falcon. No, it wasn't the Vulture. Sorry, was it him? No, it wasn't.
How good was Birdman though?
Oh,
Have you guys
Birdman was
seen
great.
Birdman's
Fucking
very
love
Fucking
Birdman.
amazing film, yeah. Sorry, random segue.
like it's not. I'm not hating on the movie because I've not seen it. Obviously,
But
I'm
yeah,
just.
you've made your opinions though.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I've not made my opinions. I honestly think it's a weird film to make at this point. It feels like a film that should have been built up to.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Instead of-
honestly, it's like it's a mess. This movie makes no sense half the time. Like
Nice.
the CGI is awful, but there's a lot of like close-ups of like Barry's face when he's eating stuff, and it's like there's a whole opening scene with Batfleck in Gotham, or should I say Glasgow, where the hospital in Gotham City's wing is falling. It's basically falling down, and all these
So
CGI.
Glasgow.
It's a Glasgow. So all these CGI babies fly out the window, and Barry's trying to save them. But he's running low on calories, so he needs to eat, and it's like, so without, yeah, well,
Sorry, it's whiplash between the Batman and Flash.
yeah,
It's like one's like proper, like, oh, I'm trying to make a good film, and one is, by the way, we should throw all these nostalgia characters into a film and see what works.
no,
You would get whiplash too, mate, if you ran that fast.
Yeah,
It's just gonna happen.
they even talk about that as well, where Barry doesn't grab anybody or move anybody.
Just do the Quicksilver thing, hand behind the head. There you go, easy. Marvel figured it out. Fuck's sake.
Well, it's a different kind when you're using the Speed Force, I guess.
Nah. I mean, that can't even be fucking
Fine.
explained properly. So they could, like, no one's going to be like, "Oh yeah, that Speed Force thing that makes sense." But you know,
I mean-
can he move someone?
I mean, like, I enjoyed the movie, even though it was like 2.5 hours. I did enjoy it's 2.5 hours, man. There
2.5
was-
hours of fucking...
Your face just showed that, like, what the fuck? Because what they had to do was they had to establish Barry's backstory, because they just kind of, like, a lot of people that knew what he was like in the Justice League go like, oh, we kind of know who he is, and then you got the Snyder Cut, obviously, that talks a wee bit about it.
Yeah.
Then you have to say what his powers are like, what his limitations are, and then you've also got to kind of explain a multiverse movie, plus reintroduce old characters, plus reintroduce a villain from a movie that was back, what was when Man of Steel out 2013?
10 years ago.
Aye. So it's like all this stuff that you're trying. You're trying to remember all this and be like, oh yeah, Zod was kind of like a bitch in the first movie. What the Man
Hey, he
Man of
wasn't a
Steel was.
bitch.
He was a wee bit like a bitch.
He
Awesome, man.
wrecked shit, mate. Like,
He was a little- he
but
had
see
to
what you're
break his
saying,
neck.
like,
Yeah.
which everyone was like, "Oh, Superman doesn't kill people."
Yeah.
But saying that they had to like explain the multiverse, they should have explained it to Michael Shannon, because I don't know if you've heard like the interviews in that where they asked him to come back, and he was like, "Have they not seen Man of Steel? Like, I die in it." And like, "Oh, it's a multiverse," and he's like, "I don't know what that is."
Yeah. I mean, I think bringing the multiverse into stuff this fast is a terrible idea. I also think Marvel doing multiverse stuff's a bit terrible, because it means you can just have big emotional moments and then go, oh, by the way, that didn't happen in this universe.
Well,
So-
right. So this is why I think again James Gunn was quite positive on this movie for a few reasons, and I think this is one of the reasons that I took away from it. That near the end of the movie, spoilers here. At the start of the movie, Barry, when he's changed the future, basically all it is a can of tomatoes that he put into his mum's shopping, so his dad didn't have to leave the house. Therefore, no attack happened, and he can grow up with his mum and dad. Dad's not in jail for a murder he didn't commit, and his mum's not dead. And what happens is when he's going back to the present, some mad purple creature punches him out of the Speed Force, and he ends up being in 2013, say when Barry was still 18, and then he runs into his younger self and shenanigans. So near the end of the movie, young Barry is like, let's go again after the second attempt, because like Batman's like, you know, he's like, I'll bring you back, and then Batman's obviously like bleeding out, and he's like, I can't bring you out, can I? And he's like, you already did, Barry, you already did, which is basically like Michael Keaton going like, yeah, well, I'm already here, motherfucker, I already got this money, bye, bleh. But what happens there is they go back to the Speed Force, and young Barry keeps trying, and what's happening is like Kryptonian weapons are getting stuck in him, and he's not healing. So that's a factor. Is like Barry, if he's getting like cut deep enough by stronger weapons, he can't heal from them. But he's like slowly getting more weapons stuck in him, and then the big evil guy comes. Is like, it was me, Barry, you, Barry. Then there's 3 Barrys, and you're like, this is fucking stupid. But
So it's like it's a canon event. It's not meant to.
Yeah, it's not like he's like there's no way out of this. We're not strong enough to beat these Kryptonians. That we have to let our mum die. Because look around, so the Speed Force kind of opens up and you see all these universes. So there's again, this is where people are kind of a bit like, oh, this is a bit either distasteful, or they brought back like Christopher Reeves and Supergirl in their own sort of universe. Adam West kind of showed up in a wee bit, where you could hear like all the older sort of Batman characters there. They had the original Superman from like the 1950s, who unfortunately he did take his own life because of that role. It's a bit like,
Reeves.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. And then the strangest one, which I kind of was like, that's fucking awesome. The Superman Lives moment that we never got to see actually showed up. So that's the Nicolas Cage as Superman fighting a giant spider. And that made me laugh so much. I'm like, yes, we got to see it on the big screen.
Finally.
But what that was like, from what I seen, it was like, once obviously Barry was like dealt with the situation, he was like, I'm going to have to go back and change everything. All those realities, all these stories, they're all in their isolated places, and you don't need to worry about them because they've happened and it's okay. You don't need to reference them. You don't need to have any sort of long thing, and they'll always be there. So no matter what happens now, you know, multiverse and traveling and that, they're always interlined, but they're always going to have that familiarity. Like, so when Bruce Wayne was talking about what multiverse is, like, a lot of people think it's this, like Back to the Future, but it's more like, you know, it's a cross point here where you've changed the past, so you've changed the future, and you can't go back unless you reset it completely. Because what happens there is then he just throws a spaghetti down, they're just like wet spaghetti. It's like, you have this, like, where everything has slight changes, slight nuances, but they all kind of play similar, a bit like, and Barry like says later on, it's like, I don't want to say the word, but it's like fate. So maybe this is what they're leading for, like, for any sort of character from DC before that wants to make a cameo, maybe in the James Gunn's movie. Like, I mean, you've got like Battle of Infinite Earths they could go on to as well. You've got like Henry Cavill could come back as like old Superman, like the eventual one.
Don't do this to me, man.
No. Again, like, but James Gunn could essentially do it, and I think that's why he's like, good, I've got this clean slate from everything, because I can pick and choose who I want. I can have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I could have Ben Affleck if I want him back. I could have Aquaman, but what I can do is, like, they don't remember who's who, because I could be like, oh, it doesn't matter. So this is my universe now. It's the James Gunniverse.
Right. Yeah, so he can take the old parts and make his own thing with it, and and you go here.
Sorry, I think he was maybe seeing the actual limitations of a shared universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at this point, the MCU is a bit convoluted because of the fact that we've had 13, no, it's more than that, it's like, 16 years worth of movies and TV shows and blah, blah, blah. So, like, now everybody has to look at those and go, oh shit, right, so these characters are at this point, we can't do this, we can't do that, these are this. Like, the problem with the shared universe is there's too much lore at one point. And you can't just go back and say, oh, cool, we'll just have Tony Stark do this now by himself. No, you can't, because he's involved with everything else.
I mean, James Gunn is also in the thick of it as well with the Guardians movie, so he, again, first-hand experience with that too. Yeah. I mean, like, a lot of people were like saying how Guardians 3 was basically a James Gunn story. I think people may have been looking too much into it, but I do like the theory it is like James Gunn is Rocket through that movie, where he, you know, has been created by the Marvel machine has had great success, but then made something better than what Marvel could possibly ever produce, and Marvel keep making the same things. So they got rid of him because they didn't want him, but then realised that they missed something that was there and wanted Rocket back, but Rocket was like, well, fuck you, which is kind of like James Gunn was like kind of brought back because of, you know, actors and stuff. And I do like that theory, but again, I'm like, that might be a bit of a stretch, but he, yeah, as he said there, he might have like a foresight and have that kind of, you know what, like, I've seen what's done to Marvel. Yeah, they've made a shitload of money, but now they're in this very, like, you know, downward spiral of, oh, how do we pull this back up? Like, people are switching off. Like, I don't know if anyone's heard about, like, Secret Invasion and stuff, that people are, like, they're now kind of against it. Like, a lot of what they've done with the intro and stuff, it's all AI generated.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks horrible as well, but it's kind of like a slap in the face to all the animators that they underpaid for She-Hulk. And, you know, it's like,
It's a weird time to release a TV show now as well. See, with the writer's strike, so all the actual guys who are creative and are good at writing are now not. So who's writing this? Obviously, Secret Invasion's been like a long time coming, but like, it's just I don't really trust Marvel or Disney now to kind of put a lot of care into what they're doing.
yeah.
It's more like they would love just the AI, all of it.
Yeah. I mean,
But-
like, you've seen what they've done with Star Wars as well. Like, Star Wars fatigue is a real thing. Like, the amount of stuff that came out, like, so quickly. And then they were like, we bought Star Wars, we need to release a movie within a couple of years. They couldn't wait to start cashing in on the Star Wars movies. And then what happened is they made, like, another trilogy where a lot of people are, like, still, like, not sure, like, if it's, you know, that memorable compared to even the prequels. And when you're saying something like that, you're like, are you doing that? But then it's the exact same thing when, you know, with Marvel, are they trying to jump on this trend of TV shows because they're like, oh, fans love this, but yeah, but you can't have, like, steak dinner every single night and be like, oh, man, I could eat this all the time. You were like, oh, maybe I'll try, like, some chicken or that, you know?
I think their plan with Star Wars is they were to try to have one film a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's too much.
That is.
It's too much, man. Like, there's too many Marvel stuff now. See if you, like me, have
Extensive knowledge on the Star Wars.
No. Like, but see, like with Marvel TV shows, right? I've only watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision. I've watched like 2 or 3,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't watched Miss Marvel or Loki, or I don't know. There might be other ones now. Like, and I feel like I've watched WandaVision, but like I feel like if I watch one now, I'm like, oh, shit. What references am I not getting? What part of the story am I not getting?
Uh-huh.
I think there's two parts of it though, because like, yes, they ideally want you to consume absolutely everything, but they also want to cast a wide net for people like you who are like, I'm not so interested in Loki, but you know, WandaVision looks good. They're just trying to cover all the bases, I think, and 9 times out of 10 that means a less quality product if you go quantity over quality, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to do the best of both worlds, and they're trying to obviously have quality, and for the most part, I say quality, that's obviously very, you know, that's to each their own kind of thing, but there are many people who just have loved Marvel since Iron Man and still absolutely love Marvel and will watch absolutely everything that they put out, regardless of, like, you know, the Rotten Tomatoes score or whatever.
Yeah. I'm a Dragon Ball fan, mate. I know that feeling.
Yeah, you like shite, so
All right.
what have you got to say?
All right. Like, you didn't have to do that. I was the one making the joke.
Yeah, but at the end of this movie, it was very much like it was like kind of this could be its own timeline now, because Barry resets everything, but instead of keeping the tomato cans where they were, there was a sort of like his dad was his only sort of evidence that he had that he was at the shop when he actually went out and bought it. He didn't kill his mum straight away like everyone was thinking. Is that Bruce Wayne helped him like fix up the CCTV, and they look at it, he doesn't look up. So he's just this guy wearing a cap, and it's like, you didn't look up, so we can't prove that was you. But in the reality, he goes back, he moves the cans of tomato up the top, so you can actually see him grabbing a can. His mum still dies, yes, but many years later, his dad can walk out as a free man. And at the end, like Bruce Wayne phones Barry, and he was like, hey man, I'm just about to pull up the courthouse. All right, cool. So this nice car pulls up, and then the photographer's all going around, opens up the car, and you're like, hey, here we go, and it's George Clooney.
Oh, right. another Batman.
Yeah, and Barry's like, who the fuck is this? So it's, again, the first F-bomb, I think, in a DC, maybe a DC movie, but again, it's a 12A, so you're like, yeah, jump on that Marvel train. But from what I heard of it, from all the speculations and that everyone was supposed to be there. Like Henry Cavill was there, Gal Gadot, they all were supposed to show up and meet Barry after the courthouse, and it was supposed to be like a, Supergirl was introduced in the start, and that was her showing up in that universe. It's like, no, Kara's always been with us. What are you talking about? So Barry had to explain, like, I may have fucked up this timeline, but it's for the better. But now what they've done is just basically like, yeah, we've got bat nipples. We've got the Schumacher universe.
Yeah. It just sounds like to me when you're explaining it, like it's the same thing that DC have done since the Marvel boom, and they're just trying to play catch up without establishing anything. You know what I mean? It's like when Avengers Assemble came out. Oh, we've got a team too. Oh, quickly, guys, make a Justice League film. You know what I mean? It's just like, Marvel are doing a multiverse. Oh, we can do that as well. You can see loads of people.
Yeah, Marvel have done a team up with like a bunch of random folk. Let's bring the Suicide Squad together and just basically try to copy a movie with three different editors, and then we'll just make this one movie. But
no one liked.
But no one liked that. WB have got such a. They're so impulsive without, realising that if they just take their time, maybe Gunn will be a lot better for it. I hope he is. I do, I don't know, I don't know how you can fuck up Superman, but, how they can fuck up Batman, how they can fuck up a lot of things. Like, Michael Keaton supposedly was in talks of doing Batman Beyond, from what I heard, and was going to play old Bruce and have that. But then that's another reason why it's like the whole Flash movies, this Flash movie is kind of like a complete reset, and that's why James Gunn is like, because like Barry is not, like, that's a completely different universe he's in now, so I could take who I wanted. I can take Mr. Momoa, here you go, Aquaman, there you go, you can stay there, because he was in Peacemaker, wasn't he? Peacemaker?
Yeah, at the end of Peacemaker, it was again meant to be Wonder Woman and Superman, like Henry Cavill, stuff like that, Gal Gadot. It was meant to be all of them, but then it was only Jason Momoa and one other one I can't remember. In fact, Ezra Miller, Flash, that actually were there. So the other ones were just like silhouettes, like just you could see their kind of shadow, like their shape of them, But I don't know. See the whole like, oh, we can kind of reset it. We can go from anywhere. Like, it just seems like a kind of. They're just covering their bases of bad writing, you know what I mean? Like, they could, I mean, it would be difficult, but they could make a really expansive, deep world where these things have a logical explanation and stuff like that, or they could even just make their own solo projects. But it's just like a get out of jail free card for, like, oh yeah, but if anything weird happens that's unexplained, it's like, this is how it's actually happening,
Yeah, as Xena Warrior Princess said in The Simpsons, a wizard did it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I think would be the best thing for them to do? And I think this might be what he means by we can do whatever we want. The DC animated universe, like the films. Just take the stories and make the stories. You don't have to make each story connect. Yeah. You can keep the same actors if you want, and you can change them up, or you can change the director and the style. But if you're going to make a Killing Joke film, right? You can put a serious actor as Batman and the Joker, but if you're like doing like another type of Batman film, you can put somebody else in. That's why we've got 14 Jokers now. Like, that's like, because they're doing All-Star Superman, and if you've read it or watched the film,
I know the gist of it. But...
Superman dies at the end of All-Star Superman. If that's the story they're going to do and stick to it, then that's a pretty cool condensed one-shot story.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to use films to build other films. The stories can write themselves, because everybody knows who Superman is. Like, you don't have to keep
Yeah.
introducing them.
Like how anytime you see Spider-Man now, they just kind of gleam over the whole,
Uncle
you know,
Ben.
origin story and stuff like that, because like everyone knows that. But I don't know, like that's another thing as well though. Like they get influenced by amazing already written stories and like, oh, but we're gonna put a cool spin on it, and it's like, no, people love that story, just do that story, you know what I mean? But then like that, for example, they would make that and then they would change it so that Superman's alive so that it can connect to this universe, because they're like, that's what Marvel's doing, so you know, we need to keep our options open. It's like, no, it can just be, like you say, a one shot.
Yeah, make a good film. Like, not everything has to follow on to the next thing, which is you
Funny
know,
enough, Hugh,
Yeah.
what have you been playing?
Yeah, following
Me?
on to the next topic.
me. Tom,
Look at that.
you'll never believe this, boys. I've been playing Final Fantasy 16.
Wait, there's a
I
Final
believe it.
Fantasy 16 game out. When did this happen?
Yeah. Midnight of the night before we recorded this podcast, because I stayed up. I was like,
How late were you up playing it?
Sinead found me on the couch at 4. I can't actually remember falling asleep. It's amazing, guys. It's honestly brilliant. Like, I was so looking forward to it after the demo because the demo was so good. But like, as soon as you switch it on, you're like, God, this looks good. God, this plays good.
Is this you just saying this from a fanboy perspective, or give us some, like, we you know, started out as a gaming podcast here. Give us some specifics.
Right, so voice acting, excellent. They've got actors in this that I recognise from like Game of Thrones, and there's a guy with a really deep fucking voice. That do you remember when Theon invaded Winterfell? Hamish?
Yeah.
And there was the guy that was like, he's like knocked him out. He had this really deep northern voice. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's been in a few things now, and he does adverts and stuff. He's got a very specific way of speaking, and he's one of the characters, and he's brilliant. And the main character, Clive, his voice actor is just really fucking good. The music's excellent. Like, I'm just enjoying the whole vibe of the thing. There's a big doggo in it for you, Hamish.
Yes.
A big dog. The battle at the beginning looked amazing. Just the way it was kind of shot, directed, and then kind of went straight into gameplay. Just brilliant. And they don't shy away from brutality in this one. There's no, like, obviously you've got your Final Fantasy kind of whimsical tone. There's a lot of brutality, a lot of blood, a lot of stabbing. Like,
A lot
back
of fun.
to fantasy. Like, back to the kind of castles and crystals and like not the cyberpunk stuff that came from Final Fantasy 7. It's just really good, but it's not an RPG anymore. It's not it's not
It's an
it's more
action game. Yeah.
it's an action slasher with commands and like a skill tree and stuff like that. It's a modern type game, which I think Final Fantasy had to go to, but still amazing. I thought they were going to do a Final Fantasy 7 Remakes battle system,
Yeah.
but they did none of that. It's just the vibes are good, boys. The vibes are very good. I'm not as into the story enough to give you like a review of that, but just loving it.
But there'll be time though.
Yeah, oh yeah, you'll be hearing about this for weeks. Look at Hamish's face.
Oh, by the way, guys, that reminds me, I need to take a few weeks off the podcast. Personal reasons. I personally can't listen to Hugh talk about that.
Why not? Still been playing Octopath, chipping away at that, just loving it. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, man. We play Call of Duty quite a lot. We just don't talk about it, right? Because we all hate it secretly.
Plus, everyone knows what Call of Duty is. What can you really talk that's innovative about Call of Duty?
But like we didn't talk about it a lot because we also fucking hate it. But it's a place where you kind of like spend time together. Dom not anymore because he hates playing the game too.
Yeah.
But like we, or one of us, I can't remember who it was, started a private match with just us, and
I started it, mate.
Hamish started it, and it was just like Infected on Shipment, which is a really small map, and some other gun game and stuff. Hey, it was so much fun when you're not playing it like against sweaty PC players and competitive players online. We were just playing the game for fun, and we had fun. Like to the point where we're thinking, well, we should probably do that again if we're all online instead of going on and getting angry at the game. Like, which is a strange thing to say, but we do get angry at the game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put on my time into Final Fantasy 16, and you'll get a more in-depth review next time, right?
No worries. I'll hold you to that.
Are you playing it, Dom?
I don't have a PS5 here.
Why have you not bought a PS5, Dom?
I mean, like, I did see like the trailers and stuff like that for the Flash. They had Final Fantasy 16, but it does say at the very bottom, Hugh, if you've not seen the trailer, that it's exclusive for the console until the 31st of December this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fully exclusive.
Nope, 31st of December. So most likely in the new year, Final Fantasy will be going to the PC.
Yeah, definitely PC. It'll
Yeah.
not be like PlayStation paid for it not to go to Xbox.
Yeah, which is so strange. How petty.
Do you think it'll be? It won't be PS4 though. Is that not
No,
good
it's
enough
not
to run
PS4.
it now?
No. Mate, one of the best things I've seen lately is TikToks where people try to keep their PS4s going. They've got like ice bags on them and fans, and they sound like motorbikes, man. I remember when I got rid of my launch PS4, like I was like, that's going to last another 6 months, and it's going to die.
Just gone.
It would rev itself up just to get into the main menu.
Hamish, my man, you been playing anything new? Or are you still working your way through the Mafia games?
No, I finished first one. I was gonna play the third one because I started that and then I actually rage quit it at one time because I started the mission, got like all the way through it, and then it fucking put me back to the start, and I was like, nah, fuck that. But you know what I've got back into? I don't know if it's because of the announcement of the DLC coming in September, but I'm right back into my Cyberpunk. Like,
Ooh.
I've put loads of hours into that recently, which I kind of like. See, the thing is, see with this DLC that's coming,
Yes.
they're like revamping the entire game. Like they've already done lots of improvements and updates, but like the whole game is getting like a massive polish on it.
The whole game?
The whole game, mate. So even like the base game, not just the DLC, like better AI and stuff like that. And I did read through a list of all the changes that they've got planned.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, should I wait for it? But then I was thinking, I'm already kind of halfway through a game, and also I would kind of like to see it. And it's not original, obviously, because it has had so many marked improvements. But play it now as it is, and then I can always do another playthrough because there's so much to see and a surprising amount of kind of branches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until this update's out to start it. But it looks so cool in that trailer. But who knew it only took another 4-year delay to make it the game that they said they were going to make?
But see, that's the thing. It's not even like it's not a bad game now. Like there has been loads of updates, and like I do remember kind of. There was the initial disappointment and stuff like that, and then there was the updates, and then I played it for a good bit and stuff like that, and I just did what I always do: buy more games and start playing them instead. But now that I'm like back at it again, the game's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like,
amazing.
See, like, I bought it when it was on sale. I think it was on the Epic Store. I think it was like 16 quid with all further DLC included with it, I think. And like I played maybe a couple hours of it, and I was like, this game isn't so bad. And then it suddenly jumped to the cutscene at the start, and everyone was T-posing. I was like, oh no.
So that was the main problem. That was the thing that everyone had the issues with, was the glitches and stuff like that, and the jank.
Yeah.
Which I get it. That's totally breaks your immersion and stuff like that. But the writing, the storylines and stuff like that, that's always been the same.
Yeah. The
map, like I had no idea just how detailed this was. Like there's bits, and obviously there's a high chance that they've put these kind of things in place so that they have a base to build on for future expansions. But there's just so many places where you can go into, and like there's still people who haven't found it yet and stuff like that, or it's not common knowledge. Like there's just obviously you're in Night City, and it's loud because it's all cyberpunky Japanese kind of place, so it's dead loud. But there's this like,
we know that, Dom.
it's like you walk into this room and it's just like a garden, big ass tree in the middle and stuff like that, and it completely cuts off all the sound from the street and stuff like that. And
It's like a Zen garden, yeah.
but like there's no quests there or anything like that. They literally just put that in. There's honestly like the level of detail is just unfathomable at some points. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And like I say, you can play it multiple times, and I think there's 4 endings.
Yeah, they added an extra ending, didn't they? Because originally there was 3, and then they kind of said that they added a 4th. I can remember, like, when I was reading the patch notes, like, what was it, last year? It must have been, like, October, when they did, like, their big 1.4 update. Because, again, like, that was for the what was that called again? Shadowrunners?
Edge Runners?
Edge Runners, yeah. I think it was an Edge Runners update.
What was that anime called, Hugh? Was it Edge Runners?
Yeah, Edge Runners. The one you should watch, Hamish.
Yeah, that was a big one. But like, so there's like 4 endings, but there's also, and I didn't really realize this because I started a playthrough, played a wee bit of it, and then I started another playthrough. So I've only really seen a lot of one playthrough, but there are like so many branching things, which I love in games. So, and even one of the complaints at the start was you've got like three prologues, 3 backgrounds to choose from.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, you only do that for like half an hour or an hour and then you're into the same game. And it's like, well, they're not going to make 3 different fucking games for however you start, obviously.
Yeah.
But no matter, like, all the way through it, you can still... There's still moments where you can say certain things, either from a certain background and stuff like that. And even being male and female, there's like big differences and stuff like that. And it's just like, it really doesn't get the recognition it deserves for the amount of work that did go into it. I know a lot of it probably came post-release, but it's an incredible game. I'm loving it, man. Really loving it.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time with it, and I'm glad that the game's finally caught up really to what its potential could be, but we don't know until this big update releases that it won't break everything. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know what's so weird as well? I've been on, I know I shouldn't, but I've been on gaming Twitter, and a lot of them are complaining that it's not going to be on PS4.
A PS4 couldn't handle it. Like, see, that's another thing. I was playing about with the settings because I was like, I've not played this in a while. Let me see if I'm running this perfectly. And I do have it on performance mode. And then I was looking, and you can put it on ray tracing and stuff like that, but it's 30 FPS, which normally I don't care about, but I put it down to it. And because I've been playing on 60 FPS 4K HDR, I was like, nah, I'd rather play it on that than have ray tracing. Like, ray tracing is nice to look at, but like when you've got 60 frames per second 4K HDR, that's enough. It looks nice enough.
Didn't you just find out that you could have been on 120 for ages and you just set your Xbox? Yeah,
I don't know why I was doing it. I was just like fanning about with the settings on my TV. I think I was watching something and it was a wee bit dark, and I was like, oh wait, hold on, because I just get like 8 different settings for like game, cinema, yada yada, sports, stuff like that.
You didn't stream from your Xbox?
No, I always stream from my PC.
Right, okay. Because again, see if you're streaming from your Xbox and you've not got an output for 120 Hz, it won't work. So you could have changed it for that and then just forgot to change it back.
No, I genuinely don't think I've ever had it on that. Because even then, like the monitor I've got, if I'm streaming from the Xbox, I'm streaming Xbox to computer to Twitch. But the monitors, I don't know, maybe it was that. But yeah, I was just switching through, and then I was like, 60 hertz. I was like, 60 hertz? That doesn't seem that high. Like, what else can I do? 120 hertz, and it was like, do you want to keep this setting? And I was like, yeah, fuck, I do, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I paid for this setting.
Yeah, and that TV's like, I've had that for years now. Like,
yeah, jeez.
God damn, Hamish, you could have been having 60 more hertz. How many kills in Call of Duty do you think you'd lost?
At least maybe 2 more.
No, probably none, because I genuinely, I don't know if it's my old drunken eyes, but I didn't notice that much of a difference.
Nah, I honestly haven't noticed that much until I played FIFA FIFA was one of them, and shit, it was Ghost of Tsushima or Horizon. I noticed, like, I was like, oh shit, this is super super buttery smooth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But then I was like, yeah, 60 was also buttery smooth.
yeah. It's not quite the same step up as like going from 1080 to 4K. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I can kind of see the difference. Whereas going like SD to HD or 1080 to 4K, where it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, big jump.
Yeah. But you been playing much else, Tom?
I'm going to be honest, not really. It's been like a busy week. I've been playing some more Tears of the Kingdom and just like having a good time making stupid machines. TikTok's been hilarious for that, where people come up with like, their crazy boat ideas. They're trying to go out as far as they can from Hyrule. There's like the completion part of the game has been, it has been tough, and I've been talking about maybe streaming it, and I'm like in two minds of doing it because I don't know how I've been feeling with obviously the news that's been going on Twitch and stuff, and how they're changing everything, and they keep backpedaling, and I'm thinking like, do you know what? Like maybe just play this game a wee bit longer off cam, but yeah, I do think this would be a fun game to play online. So I'm trying not to play too much of it again. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time, I've been just jumped into the new season of Fortnite as well, just to see what that's like. Seen a lot of Optimus Primes running about. It's not been a great update, if I'm going to be honest. It's not
So, as usual.
Well, yeah, Hugh. Like, I mean, like you're obviously one of the biggest Fortnite players I know, so you know all
Have you
about
ever?
this.
Sorry, Dom, to interrupt you. Have you ever played Fortnite, Hugh?
Yes.
How often? Like once?
When it was on PS4. That's how long ago it was.
So like when it came out, kind of thing.
I don't think it was when it came out. It was just maybe a year in or something like that.
Mhm.
It wasn't as
Genuinely,
big as
like-
it is now.
Yeah, genuinely, I implore you to try it at least, because even though it's not a game that I would play very often, when Dom and I played, I was pleasantly surprised.
Hmm.
There's so much in it, and like even the base idea of the game, the mechanics of the game, is
Yeah.
sure. I know you're not a battle royale fan. That's the only problem, but.
Hmm.
You generally don't like them on things like Call of Duty because you don't feel like there's enough action, but there's plenty going on in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this is just me being a dick. I don't take me too seriously.
It's you
Well,
like,
never
I don't like Fortnite because I don't like Fortnite, and if anyone tells me that I should like Fortnite, well, I don't like Fortnite, so I'm not going to like Fortnite, so I'm going to tell them Fortnite shit. Like that's just you.
If you understood that, Hamish, why the fuck did you ask me the question?
Because I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to the listeners, mate. My fans and the other people.
I played the Liza P demo, right, and I played Wolong, and then I have tried to like certain types of games, and I don't. Then I go, why do I want to try and like these games? Why? Like they're not obviously not for me. So Fortnite's not for me when I played it. So I will exaggerately make fun of it. Like,
I mean, there's like how many millions of people playing Fortnite. I don't think Fortnite is not for you. You're not for Fortnite, mate. It's
Fortnite's
different.
not for me. It's not for me. It's not
You're
for
not
me.
for Fortnite.
No. It's not for me. Like, it's not for me. Hamish.
How many V-Bucks have you sold here? How many H-Bucks have you sold there?
Hugh Bucks
I wouldn't do that anyway, mate. That's against my
integrity.
religion.
Religion. So, gaming news, guys. Hugh, intro.
You've
I
stumped
remember
him because
I put
usually
him on the spot, and he's like,
yeah, because it wasn't quite news, because
I was like, shit, did we do a specific gaming news one?
I did it. Okay. Nintendo had their direct. It was kind of dropped.
Wait. Sorry, do that again, Hugh. I hope that quack shows up.
I think it did.
Nice.
So Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct. It was kind of dropped quite quickly. So for like, what was it, 48 hours, people were speculating what it could be. A lot of people screaming for Mother 3 and Earthbound. Like, all the things that never will ever get made and they should shut up. but
These
they won't
shitty
because they're
fucking
Nintendo fans. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll just run through everything, and you can say that if you were interested in it, if you have an opinion, you can let us know. So we got a little trailer for the Hidden Treasure, for the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So this is DLC that still isn't coming until October, but it was a trailer that they showed in the middle of June. Anyone hyped for it?
Not really, no.
Nah. Well, yeah, probably a lot of people, just not us.
Yeah. Is Angie hyped for it?
I actually don't know if she knows, like, how.
Is she
no,
playing?
yeah, no, she
Is
played.
it-
She did play it, but the thing is, I don't think since it's like away in October, November time, it's like there's no point in caring about it until it's out. So
Yeah.
I guess do you know what I will actually say to her? I don't think she knew that it was there, because I kind of glossed over it, going. They had the warning at the bottom saying this is still waited to be. This is still demo that's not actually out, still in beta. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, everything was running too smooth. This just doesn't feel like it's in beta.
By the way, hi Angie, if you're listening.
Oh, Hugh, what's with that face?
I wasn't waiting for a response of it because you know.
His tone, man, his tone just is always weird when he does stuff like that.
How's that weird? What was weird about it?
So
I'm saying hi,
hi-
saying hi to a friend.
hi Sinead,
See, that's normal.
hi
Dom.
Craig, hi Mabel.
Mashinade or Hugh Sinead?
How does,
All
how does
Sineads.
Dom,
All Sineads.
Dom says it normal and you say it weird. What's that about?
Anyway, so Sonic Superstars got a bit more of an extensive trailer as well, where it's the first time they said that they can have 4 players playing simultaneously. It looks alright. It looks like a Sonic game. It's not made by the same guys that made Sonic Mania, which is a bit of a shame. There's
The team that is making this has not made that many games, by the way. They made
They've not.
Terra Wars, Hey Pikmin, and Yoshi's New Island on the 3DS.
It's not really a difficult game to make.
no,
to be
it's
fair.
a Sonic game.
I think they'll manage.
Yeah. Pala, which is kind of like I don't know, like another farming sim, kind of like. There's a lot of like, you know, comfy games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
that's
farming sim.
Nintendo, mate.
Yeah, comfy for life. The spin-off of another Persona 5 spin-off.
Tactica.
Yeah, Tactica. I do love the logo of it though, looking like a flag. I'm like, yeah.
Hold on. Are we just going to gloss over the fact that I knew what the fuck that was?
Yeah,
No,
because we
no.
talked about it last week.
I was drunk last week, mate.
So they showed a wee bit more footage of that. It was alright. You know, like, we'll see again. It's kind of like a, you know, Mario Rabbids. What's that? XCOM? Not XCOM. What's it called?
Yeah, XCOM. Yeah.
Is it XCOM? Yeah, that kind of style of game. Mithril Force. See the Saturday cartoon game, first person shooter. Anyone see that?
Nope.
Force.
Yeah, I say Myth Force. Myth Force, sorry, Myth Force. Yeah, it looked alright. It kind of looked a bit like Harry Partridge cartoons running about. I was like, oh wait, it's Harry Partridge doing that. The internet guy did the Skyrim musical stuff and that. Splatoon updates, and then saying that they are finally doing the tournament for the first time, an official Nintendo tournament for it. But they're also doing a European Mario Kart as well.
What is a tournament for Splatoon?
A Splatoon-ment?
I was about to say, like, why don't they call it a Splatoon-ment? But, like,
Hamish, TM that right now so they can't use it.
it
They'll
just
hit
seems
you at cease and desist.
such a weird game to have a tournament
Really?
over.
Splatoon's one of the biggest esports games going, man.
Is it? Oh, well, they're all fucking idiots then, aren't they?
Have you ever played it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the first
we-
one, yeah.
Well, how do you know if you've never played it? You were going that with me in
I have
Fortnite.
played it, so
When? Prove it.
fine, I'll show you on my, like, achievement list, whatever.
Anyway, the long-awaited sequel for Detective Pikachu is back as Detective Pikachu Returns. Unfortunately, not voiced by Danny DeVito, but someone...
Detective Pikachu.
yeah.
That's what I should have been called.
You're on fire.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's not voiced by Danny DeVito, as a lot of people really want him to be in the movies, but it was Ryan Reynolds. But they got Will Arnett to be the voice of Pikachu in this
Oh,
game.
very good. Now we
That's
get to hear a fucking depressed horse. That's all I'm going to hear. I'm all thinking about the view from halfway down when I'm going to watch this cuddly wee fucking rat.
So a couple of things had been leaked, unfortunately, from Nintendo. Obviously, like I remember seeing Super Mario RPG trending a lot of times.
Oh, mate.
And
Can't
I was
wait
like,
for that, man.
yeah, and they like it looks incredible. Like, if any of you played it, I remember playing it years ago, like on a ROM, and really enjoying it. I loved the music for it, and then I can remember watching the Super Best Friends play it. Pat and Liam, like Liam was really good at the game, knew everything about it, and Pat's commentary behind it was brilliant. But yeah, it looks great, and Square Enix giving the green light as well, because I think that's what was holding them back for the longest time. Square were very much like, nah, we can't have you because it's got Final Fantasy elements and stuff, and
they owned like the extra characters.
Yeah.
Like, see the ones that aren't Mario characters, they owned them all, and then
which is strange.
they fell out. Remember, because of Final Fantasy VII moved from N64 to PS1.
Yeah,
Square and Nintendo fell out, and Square was like, "Nah, fuck you.
yeah.
You know, never getting that back."
Yeah.
I like the same as yourself, Tom. I played the first one on a ROM,
Yeah.
and I loved it, and I put a lot of time into it, and then
Yeah.
I think by accident saved over my save state or
Oh, no.
something like that, and I just totally fucked it for myself, and I was always raging that I did because I really, really enjoyed it.
I mean, like,
And
see,
It's a great game.
yeah, and if anyone wants to
Is
play
this the same game?
yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
game, it's just remade.
Right, it's
But
remade.
if you
Okay,
really
cool.
want to play it, it is on the well, it's on the SNES emulator that you can get on the Nintendo eShop.
Why
But they
didn't they
also
call that a Snemulator?
right, stop it now. Hamish, stop it. They also kind of teased a Peach platformer for herself, like just a solo Peach game. Like they did that before, and people were like, oh, that's not very good. You kind of made like Peach to be like a hormonal monster, where she was crying was an attack, and she raged out and was hitting people. But this looks like it's going to say again.
Super Princess Peach for the DS.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
it was all right.
Wait, does she actually attack people by like crying on them and stuff?
Yeah.
I can see why people are not happy with that.
Yeah. But they've also said that Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming
that's
to the
getting
Switch.
Is that not getting like HD'd or something
Yeah.
soon?
So now
Yeah.
I think you're going to have all the Luigi Mansion games on the Switch, which is cool. I know.
Is the first one?
I think it is. I would need to double check. A strange release came as well, or a trilogy of Batman.
Just wipe it up, Dom.
There was a Batman Arkham trilogy is coming to the Switch, which is, why is that a big question?
I mean,
Yeah.
those are great games, but it just seems like they've been done to death. I mean, they've already been remastered, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or at least re-released in the.
So what I've seen as well, like see during the trailer, it did have like a different company at the bottom as well as Rocksteady. So I don't know if someone else is taking or like emulating it different, and if it's going to be maybe the best version of it. We don't know until it's out. But
Not going to be the best version of it on a fucking Switch, is it?
Turn me up games.
Turn-
There we go.
They helped with It Takes Two, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, Borderlands, Legendary Collection, a Blade Runner game.
Yeah. So like again, Rocksteady have not fixed Arkham Knight, so they could potentially sort it. We don't know. We'll need to wait and see, because maybe that's why it's taken so long to come to the Switch. Because this, I'm sure, got rumored when the Switch first came out, and the Switch is what 6-7 years old now.
6 years. Fuck hell.
Yeah. Gloomhaven RPG board game. Yeah, it looks alright. Didn't really. It's like a
Friend of the podcast Ross game.
I was going to say it's a niche, isn't it? Like if you like those kind of games, I'm sure it'll be entertaining. But
yeah. Just Dance 2024, Hugh's best game there, coming with all the Ubisoft Plus membership, so you can download all this DLC.
I've got that.
Yeah. There was a couple of RPGs announced as well. Silent Hope. It looked okay.
Looks fine.
Fae Farm, the cozy game.
another farming one. Yeah.
One that did look really great was the Manic Mechanics. It was kind of like an Overcook mechanic game where you all had to grab mechanical parts to fix like a trucks and stuff, but it looked like it was chaotic.
So it's another one of these games that people will be like, "Oh my god, this looks so fun! This looks great," and then they'll buy it, and then they'll play it with their friends, and they'll get to level 3, and then you need to do something else, like change the oil, and everyone will be like, "Fuck this! I'm not playing this anymore."
Is this
We're
is this like experience for our play of Overcook?
Pretty much, yeah. Overcooked always goes the same way, man. Everyone's like, "Oh, this game's loads of fun. We should try this." And then, you get past the first few levels and you're like, "What do you mean I'm supposed to fucking wash the... You fucking wash the dishes?
I'm not cutting the tomatoes.
I'm chopping the fucking veg now."
That was all you. You were drunk and like
Doing
used
everything.
the fire extinguisher.
No, that was... oh, yeah. I was spinning around in a circle, wasn't it? I was just trying to get the whole kitchen, mate. These, like, have you ever seen videos of how quickly kitchens can catch on fire? Hugh, you need to plan ahead for this kind of thing, right?
DLC for Mario and the Rabbits, the Spark Hunter.
Rabbids? Did you say rabbits?
Rabbids.
Rabbids.
The last Spark Hunter.
Yeah.
Wabbits.
So this is the second lot of 3. I think the last one is Rayman is showing up.
Finally
showing
time,
up.
Yeah.
Your XCOM Mario game. The first one was really good.
That looked alright, actually.
Yeah, the second one. That's all right, man. The second one I didn't really play, but I did hear really good things about it. Like Mario, giving Mario guns. He's like the Shadow, the Hedgehog of Mario games. The Dragon Quest monster, like, so again, Akira Toriyama style animated game, but in the style it's like a Dragon Quest game, but you're fighting like kind of style of Pokemon. So instead of killing monsters, you have to capture them and have them fight other monsters, which is like okay, a bit of a different take on it. So you'll still get the slimes and stuff like that from the original Dragon Quest games, but you just capture them this time. Supposedly they're going to do a big direct of Pikmin 4, so that's why they didn't go too much on it. They showed like a new Pikmin, like a wee ghost Pikmin that helps you stay out after dark. So when you play the original 1 to 3, you have to go in before dark, before everyone, the wee creatures try to eat everybody, the Pikmins. Metal Gear Solid 1 had a bit more of in-depth with the Metal Gear Solid 1 collection, which is basically...
Is that like... So that's doing like the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2?
So 1, 2 and 3.
And 3, yeah.
1, 2 and 3 with...
the Switch can't do anything past the number 3.
No, there's going to be another collection.
Yeah.
Nah, Switch is shite.
I do think that the Metal Gear Solid Volume 2 has to have Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5. Like, maybe... Like, they have to have 4 outside of the PlayStation 3. They need to have that done. I'd be very sad if it still stays or it's exclusive on PlayStation.
Yeah, I think it'll have 4, and then I think it'll have the PSP games.
Yeah, like Acid and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, because that played, I think, Acid and Portable Ops, and what's the other one? There was another one that led straight into 5, which, when I was missing all the fucking context.
Oh, yeah, with Kaz and stuff like that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, what was that called? I think it is the Acid 2 or Metal Gear... Hey, they'll have all of them.
Yeah.
You boys will be happy to hear that Vampire Survivor is going to arrive on Switch.
Hamish has just got up and left us, so I don't think he was that happy.
I think he was really angry at it.
Yeah, I don't see why Vampire Survivors couldn't have been on Switch before.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just delayed or, again, like Nintendo, maybe they're taking that stance of like, let's clear the games to make sure that they work first before releasing them properly. Hamish leaving at the worst possible time because maybe we should just wait.
Go on to another one. We'll talk about what.
Okay, right. There's Penny's Big Breakaway. So this is from the guys that made Sonic Mania.
Right. Okay.
And this looks like crazy. It's like a person with a crazy yo-yo jumping about on like crazy things, and he's getting chased by like penguins and stuff like that.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah,
right.
It's really bright. It looks like it's really well optimized for the Switch. I don't know if it's exclusive for the Switch, but it's not out until next year.
No, it's not exclusive. It says here it's out Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and Switch.
Yeah.
Even Star.
Yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting its fifth wave, sorry. But it's had the reason why I said third there is because it's getting 3 characters. They've not had see for all these waves. They've not introduced any characters.
Aye, like I think this is their attempt at making Mario Kart live service. By the way, not live service in the other sense, but why would you go out your way to develop a new Mario Kart when we've created the best one, just keep updating it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. But again, I would like more guest characters and stuff, because the ones that they had, like PA, and Wiggler, the Wiggler is there. Yeah, I don't know if. Yeah, don't search Nintendo.
It's just like a 4-year-old saying the Riddler, mate.
Yeah, just don't. Just make sure you don't Google search a certain Nintendo tweet saying that Mario hates a certain creature and they accidentally misspelled it. Instead of saying Wiggler.
Creature?
Yeah.
A creature, Dom?
Yeah.
They calling them creatures? Really? Wow.
Yeah, a Wiggler. They are a creature. What are they then if they're not?
I don't know.
What's the
what a Wiggler is.
It's the wee long body things in Mario that if you hit the top of the head it falls apart, but you could hit the other parts of its body and it'll just break.
The worm things? The caterpillars?
Yeah.
What were they called? That's the most uninspired name I've ever heard. I didn't know they were called that.
Here's a great inspired name: Headbangers Rhythm Royale. Hamish, we waited for you to come back so we could talk about that. The pigeon game.
The pigeon, yes. I mean, it's no squirrel with a gun, right? But it did look pretty fucking cool. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those games though. And what was it? Not Wii. The Switch Together or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
1-2 Switch.
The one where there's like loads of people and they're throwing like ninja stars at each other and stuff like that. Like
Fruit Ninja.
No, it was shown in the Nintendo Direct. It's like whatever.
Oh, you're talking about WarioWare Move It.
No. It was kind of like that. But there's like loads and loads of people like hundreds of people can join in. Anyway, these kind of games, like they seem like they're a good idea. They're fun wee concept, but
yeah, it's about it's the battle. That's a battle royale game.
The pigeon one.
Yeah, the pigeon one's a battle royale. That's the one you're thinking of. You could have. Yeah, that is that one.
No. There's another one. I'm telling you, like there's another one.
Okay. Is it the one that we were talking about last week? It was like 33 people.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Anyway.
I told you this, mate. I was drunk. But anyway, so yeah, it seems like a good idea, but then it's like, how often are you gonna play this?
It depends if it has like the Fall Guys. If I feel like if people jump on it and stream it and have all these people just watching other people play it and want to play it. We never know. It could be the next Fall Guys or Fortnite. So Star Ocean, the second story, got leaked a while ago, unfortunately, but they kind of announced it here, saying that there's a complete remake of it as well. It looks great. Like Star Ocean, we never really got over here. They didn't really. We got I think we got part 3 or something. I can't remember what we got, but it was like you had to know a lot of the story, and you're going like, who the fuck are these guys? And
we got one for the PlayStation that no one bought, and it's really expensive. And then the next one we got was PS2 that no one bought. Then there's an Xbox 360, PS3, and then there's like one every generation that no one buys.
Yeah.
But the latest one that came out for the PS5 is actually quite good, and people like it.
Mm-hmm. So
this, like, they already did the first game, like the R version of that, and I bought that, and I was like, oh, this is really good. I don't want to go out and buy the PSP version of the second game because I know they're going to fucking remake the second game. It just took so long.
Just give them time.
I gave them time. I'm going to play it.
Also, as we just said there, WarioWare Move It, a new WarioWare game before the mini games and stuff.
I think they're fun. I'd really do like the WarioWare games, but it's just not. Again, it's good in theory.
It's good with pals.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, when do we really hang out all that much to play something like that? You know what I mean? And even if we do, we play it for like 10 minutes and it's like, oh, what else we got? Smash Bros.
we should look. No, one of my favourite memories of Wario is I think we were up in Rory's, and we were passing around the controller because you had to keep passing it to the mini games, and there was one that was like saw wood, and
Yeah.
you kept getting it. You just couldn't. You were like, I'm doing it. I'm sawing back and forth, and it would just like failed. And you're like, I hate this fucking
I
game.
hate this game. I would always ruin it for everybody.
It's so much fun. Like, I do see where Hamish come from though. Like, they are a lot of fun, but then you go, cool. What's next?
Yeah. Because again, it's like, I think they said it was like over 60 mini games, and you're like, okay, once you've played those 60 mini games, what's next?
Yeah.
And the last thing that got announced, again, something else that kind of got leaked with a new 2D Mario, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Now
That looks alright. I mean, it looks like another Mario game. But
yeah,
I like it a lot. Just because I love that type of Mario game.
yeah, but those types of Mario games are samey. Once you've played it, you've kind of, again, they're either too easy or like you get too many power ups and stuff like that. I remember from the last ones they had on the Wii and the Wii U, but I like the Wii powers, like the big hats that you can glide, and then like I don't know what it is. It's like if you take Wonder, like it becomes like a trippy nightmare where like Mario can extend his body like the Koopas and stuff, and then you get Elephant Mario and the hats are big and you can glide.
I mean, my first impression was, oh, this looks dead samey, and then it kind of kicked up a notch. When all the new stuff started showing in. Obviously not Elephant Mario. That's ridiculous. That just looks silly.
I think they got a lot of ideas from people playing Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Everybody Switch. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody 1-2 Switch. Have you seen that?
Yeah, well, that's what Hugh mentioned it. 1-2 Switch.
1-2 Switch.
Well, I don't really listen to Hugh, to be honest. When he's talking. But yeah, that kind of idea.
Yeah. Mario 2D games will always be like, they'll always be like just slight incrementally better, but they were always good. I don't think there's ever been a bad 2D Mario. Like, and it's
no, not really.
If they released this game at 60 quid, no, 50 quid, no.
Yeah.
This has got to be a 20 to 30 pound game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with the new Sonic, I suppose. We're like, oh wow, they've finally made Sonic look good. Like old style Sonic. Like we kind of really praise that, and then be like, oh, but this new Mario game that's the exact same, but like improvements and looks better.
But
that's not good.
But I mean, that's coming from.
Speed.
I mean, you have to come. You're coming from like Odyssey, Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, and the Mario
Creed
film.
Odyssey, yeah.
And like Sonic's coming from Sonic Frontiers, which was like kind of a glitchy game. So going back to like a formula that works kind of helps Sonic. Where with Mario, it's like, okay, let's see what they do. I mean, it's daft of them not to do like an Odyssey 2 right now, considering that was like, crazy good. But people still play that game and they still get updates and stuff. So,
you know what Nintendo do though? They try not to saturate consoles, so you'll maybe get 1 or 2 Zelda games, a 2D Mario, never getting an F-Zero ever again.
No.
Smash Bros. Like they don't tend to, and this isn't a dig like usually as they don't tend to Ubisoft it or like even FIFA up, if you know what I mean. They don't do a yearly Mario anymore. Like, because I think they know that people won't fucking take a 2D Mario every year or every 2 years. You need a 2D Mario every 5 years.
Yeah.
What was the last one? Like Super Mario Maker 2?
Super Mario Wii U, something like that.
No, Mario Maker 2. So Mario Maker 2 came out on the Switch, didn't it?
I don't think Mario Maker games are considered like... Mario Maker games are more the creative part.
It's a 2D Mario game, innit?
No, but I know. But if you were going to say when was the last 2D Mario, you're not going to say Mario Maker because Mario Maker is more about making the game. They're going to give you levels and new game types.
Yeah.
So you can play them in a 2D Mario style.
Yeah. So again, out of all the directs that we've covered, basically from the PlayStation Showcase, Xbox Showcase with like the Summerfest stuff, and the Nintendo. How did you compare that? Did you enjoy this one? Did you think it was too short, or were you just like, it was alright? Hugh, what did you think of that?
A lot of the games are games that I would buy. Like Mario RPG announcement was mind blowing. Pikmin 1-2 collection, and then 4. Like, that's really cool. None of them are groundbreaking announcements. They're all. Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted that. That's awesome. I wanted that. And then there's ones like the Batman Arkham Trilogy. Like, Who was asking for that? Like some of it's really cool, but it feels like they just threw a few things together, and there's a one still massive gaping hole in these directs, Dom.
Mm.
And it's not F-Zero.
Nope.
It's Metro Prime 4.
Yep.
There's still zero information about it, and there's still no Donkey Kong, and there's still no what's the other one I always moan about?
That's a long list if we're going to go through all
Starwing,
the things you more
Starwing,
about.
still no Star Fox, Starwing, still no F-Zero, still no Donkey Kong.
Mm.
Like,
give me one. Just give me one.
Yeah, as far as the Nintendo Directs went, like, I was pleasantly surprised at this one. Like, I didn't watch it as it happened, and obviously before we were recording, you guys were like, "Oh, well, watch the trailers that you are interested in because we're going to talk about it." And I found myself, watch trailer. Oh, that one looks good too. Oh, that one looks good. That one looks good. And there have been some very underwhelming Nintendo Directs, even in recent history. Never mind, the whole time. But no, overall, I think the show is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I still think Xbox won it with Starfield.
Yeah, from all of them, Xbox, I think, definitely was the best of them.
I mean, they had to. Like, if they didn't come out best here, I don't know if Xbox would have kept any momentum. Like, Switch is on huge momentum with Zelda and stuff like that. PlayStation 5 has got, Final Fantasy 16 and God of War came out and stuff like that. Xbox needed a big win, and it did. Starfield is a big win. Nintendo probably comes second, and then PlayStation last.
Is he well worth it? Like, talking about Starfield, I think it's so ridiculous that there's so many PlayStation players that are. There's actually a petition now. There's a petition now, for when you get Starfield, just a PlayStation exclusive. And it's like, it's already been announced on like Game Pass and everything, and for all these platforms, and it's like, but no, it should be a PlayStation exclusive, and it's like, what
a Hugh thing to say.
Yeah, what a Hugh thing to say, exactly. Like, there's always going to be exclusives, but exclusives are not good for the consumer, not good for players in general. Like, fair enough, have your exclusives that are exclusives because the bigger companies say that's how they want it to be done. But no one should be actively trying to stop other gamers enjoying something. It's ridiculous, man. But that's typical PlayStation fan.
Have you ever been on console Twitter?
I'm very rarely on Twitter at all, mate.
Mate, that's probably good for your mental health, but like, they argue over like the dumbest of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, like they argue as if they've got fucking stock in these companies. Like, they're making money. They're like, look how bad this is. And you're like, mate, why are you happy that something's bad? Like
arguing is one thing though, but like starting a petition to get a game that's already announced on multiple platforms to suddenly become exclusive, like, that's purely delusional. Like, do they really think that people are going to be like, oh, you know what? Oh, fuck you. Even though we've told these companies we're making it, even though we've spent years programming it to go on all these systems, this fucking moron has got some signatures on an online petition that means fucking nothing. Like, so let's just change our whole fucking plan. Like, it's so stupid, man.
Gamers.
Yeah, it's not all gamers. It's just delusional fuckwits.
Hashtag. Well, that's most.
Hashtag gamer.
Mate, honestly, sometimes like I browse through it and there's like accounts that spend most of their day just like shitting on each other, and you're like, man, just play the games. Just play games.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Like, I know I'm on about Ubisoft and I'm on about EA and I take the piss about Assassin's Creed and stuff, but like, I want things to be good.
No one wants to play a bad game. No one wants bad games.
Like, I want things to be better. Like, I don't revel in them being bad. So that's the stupidity of it all. You want a healthy industry because you get better games. Don't revel in things being bad.
Yeah. So I guess that wraps up this podcast, guys. Unless Hugh, you got anything interesting to say?
Probably, but I don't
Never.
usually understand.
Hamish, you got anything wonderful to say to our fans?
Wonderful. Just, thank you,
Yeah,
everybody, for listening. Shut the fuck up,
Every
Hugh.
time,
I'm
man.
trying to say something wonderful.
Oh, God.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been great having you through this episode. We obviously didn't have you because you're not here with us, but, in spirit, here with us. We really do appreciate everything that you do for us. Being, pressing play button and getting this far is impressive,
Yeah.
These are wonderful people, really, for being able to put up with Hugh's bullshit. Like, I've struggled with it for a long time. I don't know how you do it, honestly. But
Struggle with a lot of stuff.
Oh, there you go.
see, the fans love it, mate. The fans love it.
I was looking at Dom and I was going, he looks really happy about something. What the fuck is he doing? Like, he was getting ready to clap.
I thought I was getting through to him. I was like, oh my god, I'm really giving a rousing, touching speech. But no, he just wanted to play a fucking soundbite. I feel right now. Yeah.
Oh,
But no, genuinely, thank you everyone
Yeah.
for listening, and we'll get you next time. Shut the fuck up.
Right. Well, that's a goodbye from Hugh.
Bye, everyone.
That's a goodbye from Hamish. And that's a goodbye from me, Dom. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye. Yeah.
God, I hate doing this. Imagine we come off for like fucking. Why do
we do this?
I hate doing this. Why? Like,
I mean, I want to do this now purely just to figure out the best times I can put these noises in.
Oh, yeah. You can just say like that. Hey, Hamish, have you got anything to say? Or do you want to start the podcast again?